Imagine a small town. The sun is shining brightly over the rolling hills of Galilee. The town is called Cana. Everyone knows everyone here. Laughter spills out from a courtyard. Ribbons, flowers, a wedding is happening. This is not just any party, a celebration that can last a whole week. A time of immense joy, families, friends. Music fills the air. The smell of delicious food makes mouths water. A day full of promise. New love, a new beginning for a happy couple. Dancing, singing. The biggest event in town, the bride, the groom. Families worked for months to prepare. Relatives, neighbors, a community affair, abundance and blessing. Hosting well is a matter of honor. Guests must feel welcomed. Picture perfect happiness. God is present in simple, everyday moments, even at a wedding in a small, dusty town. Among the many guests there are some very special visitors. A man named Jesus is there. He has just begun his public ministry, gathering a small group of followers. He is not yet famous. To most people at the party, he is just a carpenter from the nearby town of Nazareth. He is here because he was invited. He came to celebrate with his friends, to share in their joy. Jesus loves people. He loves being with them in their happiest moments. He is not standing off to the side, looking serious and unapproachable. He is right there, in the middle of the crowd, enjoying the music, the food, and the fellowship of the celebration. With Jesus is his mother Mary. She likely knows the family of the bride or groom very well, perhaps she is even a relative. She has a gentle and caring heart. She notices everything. She sees the smiles on people's faces, but she also sees the small details that others might miss. Also with Jesus are his first disciples, men like Peter, Andrew, and John. They have just recently left their fishing nets and their old lives behind to follow this captivating teacher. For them, this is all very new. They are still getting to know Jesus. Being at a wedding with their new master is part of their journey. This moment reveals Jesus. God is not distant. He wants to be part of our lives, our joys, and our celebrations. As the party continues, sun begins to set, a quiet panic starts to spread. It begins in the kitchen, whispers its way through the servants. A disaster is unfolding. The unthinkable has happened. They have run out of wine. This was more than an inconvenience. It was a major social embarrassment. Poor planning, lack of generosity, shame for the bride and groom's families. Joy threatened a cloud of humiliation. Music still playing, but the wine is gone. Symbol of joy and abundance gone. Master unaware servants in a frenzy, worried faces at empty stone jars. What could they do? Shops closed, no quick way to get more. The party was supposed to last for days, but the primary beverage disappeared. This problem was too big for them to solve. A crisis that could tarnish the memory of this special day forever. Laughter outside, desperation inside. Host family's honor hanging by a thread. Empty jars, a picture of human need. In this place of need, a space is created for a miracle. Mary, with her observant eyes and caring heart, notices the problem. She sees the worried looks on the servants' faces and understands what has happened. She does not panic. She does not start to gossip or criticize the hosts. Instead, she quietly walks over to her son Jesus. She knows him better than anyone. She has carried the secret of his divine identity in her heart for 30 years. She has been waiting for the moment when he would reveal who he truly is. Perhaps she senses that this is the time. Her faith is simple, direct, and incredibly powerful. She doesn't see a carpenter. She sees the solution to every problem.
They have no more wine.
It is not a command. It is not a detailed request. It is a simple statement of fact. It's a mother sharing a problem with her son. But it is so much more. It is an expression of complete trust. She does not tell him what to do or how to do it. She simply presents the need to him.
Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come.
This sounds a little distant, but in the language of the day, woman was a respectful term. But Mary is not discouraged by his words.
Do whatever he tells you.
Nearby stood 6 large stone water jars. These were not for drinking water, they were used for ceremonial washing, a Jewish custom of purification. Each jar was huge, holding 20 to 30 gallons. They were symbols of religious ritual and tradition, part of the old way of doing things. Now they were empty, just like the wine barrels, unused, sitting in the corner, waiting. Jesus turns his attention to these ordinary, overlooked vessels. He sees potential where others would only see empty stone. He's about to use the ordinary to do something extraordinary. Jesus looks at the servants, worried moments before. He gives them a very strange command.
Fill the jars with water.
Imagine what the servants thought. Fill the purification jars with water? What good would that do? They needed wine, not more water. It was a lot of work. They had to haul bucket after bucket from the well, drawing water, carrying buckets, pouring into the jars, over 100 gallons in total. The request made no logical sense. It seemed like a waste while the crisis worsened. It was a test of their obedience.
Do whatever he tells you.
Without questioning, they obey. They pick up buckets and head to the well. They work quickly, filling each of the 6 stone jars to the brim. Jar 1 fills, jar 2 fills, jar 3 fills, jar 4 fills, jar 5 fills, jar 6 fills. Their obedience is immediate and complete. They fill them completely full. Now the scene is set. 6 jars, once empty, now full to the brim with ordinary water. With the jars full of water, Jesus gives a second command. He looks at the servants and says, "Now draw some out, and take it to the master of the banquet." Think about this for a moment. Serve it to the expert on wine. He is asking them to risk their jobs, risk humiliation. It was one thing to fill jars in the back, but another to present this as if it were wine. This required another level of trust, a leap of faith. The servants obey. One of them dips a ladle into a stone jar. As he lifts it out, something incredible has happened. The liquid is no longer clear water. It has a deep, rich, ruby-red color. The smell is not of water from a well, but of the finest, most fragrant wine. In that quiet, unseen moment between the jar and the ladle, a miracle has occurred. Jesus didn't say a magic word. He didn't make a big show. He simply willed it to be, and creation obeyed its creator. The very elements of water were transformed into the complex elements of wine. It was a silent, powerful, complete transformation. The servant carries the cup to the master of the banquet. His heart must have been pounding in his chest. He hands the cup over, waiting for the reaction. The master of the banquet holds the cup, swirls the liquid and observes its rich color. He lifts it to his nose and inhales the wonderful aroma. He has no idea where this wine came from. He assumes it is just another serving from the host's supply. He is completely unaware that he is about to taste a miracle. He is just doing his job, evaluating the quality of the wine being served. The transformation was instantaneous and total. The master of the banquet takes a sip. His eyes widen in surprise. This is not just wine, this is the best wine he has ever tasted. Rich, full-bodied, exquisite. He is a connoisseur, an expert, and he is completely blown away. He has no idea it was water just moments ago. He thinks the host has been holding back the good stuff. He calls the bridegroom over to compliment him and gently tease him. The master is the first to taste the miracle. His reaction proves its quality. Everyone brings out the choice wine first, then the cheaper wine after guests have drunk more. But you have saved the best for now. He is amazed. The custom, serve best at the start. Here, at the end, they get the most magnificent wine. The bridegroom must have been confused. He knew they'd run out of wine. He had no idea where this superior wine came from. Only the servants knew the secret. Guests drink the new wine. A fresh wave of joy sweeps the party. The crisis is averted. Shame replaced with honor. The party is elevated to a new level. Joy grows even greater. Jesus didn't just solve the problem. He did it with extravagance. He didn't just make enough to get by. He made over 100 gallons of the very best wine. This is the nature of God's grace. Always more than we need. Better than we can imagine. He doesn't just fill our emptiness. He makes our cups overflow. This moment reveals Jesus. His generosity is limitless. He cares about small details, even preventing embarrassment at a wedding. The wine he creates is a foretaste of heaven, where the celebration never ends. So, what does a story about a wedding that happened 2,000 years ago have to do with us today, on September 11th, 2025? Everything. This story is not just a historical account of a miracle. It is a timeless invitation. It invites us to do what Mary did, to bring our problems to Jesus. We all have moments when we run out of wine. We run out of patience. We run out of energy. We run out of hope. We run out of resources. We face situations that feel embarrassing or impossible. In those moments we can remember Mary's simple, trusting words, "They have no more wine," and lay our own needs before him with the same faith. The story also calls us to obey like the servants. Their instruction was to do whatever he tells you. Sometimes what Jesus asks of us might not make sense. It might seem strange or difficult, like filling water jars when you need wine. He might ask us to forgive someone who hurt us. He might ask us to be generous when we feel we have little. He might ask us to take a step of faith into the unknown. True faith is not about understanding everything, it's about trusting the one who does. Obedience is the pathway through which God's power flows into our situations. It is how we position ourselves to see him work. Most importantly, this miracle shows us the heart of Jesus. He is a God of abundance, not scarcity. He didn't just solve the problem, he overwhelmed it with grace. He made gallons and gallons of the very best wine. When he heals completely. When he forgives fully. When he gives life, he gives it to the full. He wants to take the empty places in our lives, the water of our daily routines and struggles, and transform them into something beautiful and joyful. He wants to save the best for last in our own stories, turning our trials into triumphs. As we reflect on this first miracle, let it fill us with hope. Your life is like that wedding party. Jesus wants to be an invited guest. He wants to share in your joys and help you in your moments of crisis. He sees your empty jars. The invitation is to trust him. The invitation is to watch as he takes the plain water of your life and transforms it into the rich, celebratory wine of his grace. He is still in the business of turning water into wine.